Yes, it is that time. Once again, it's Wednesday. It's noon Eastern time. That means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, on the Hemptations Beach page on Facebook, also on the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and on Twitter at Hemptations. The podcast can be found in many places. The audio version, of course, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Google Play as well. I am Joe Clare. Google me if you're interested. And he is Beach, high above the Hemptations in Sharonville, Ohio, the hemp quarters, if you will. Beach, how are things in Hemptations land?
Things are moderately okay, high above the
Always the glowing review.
Temptations in Cherville. Always optimistically pessimistic. No,
Yes.
or pessimistically optimistic. No, I call myself a realist. Anyway, things are okay this week. It's we've got good stuff, we got bad stuff. I think we're really kind of the show this week is definitely balancing out with some good stuff, and then I've got bad stuff too. It's a sad week in Cincinnati, and all that good jazz. The good stuff though is we've got one left or so, not two, maybe 4 or 5 days. I'm not sure, but it is coming to an end soon. So if you have not gone to citybeat.com and helped us out in the best of voting, please do. Podcast. You may have to write us in for local podcast or vote for us, but that's the High Noon Hemp Show. We are nominated for the Green Sustainable Goods store category and smoke shop. Of course, we're the reigning champs in smoke shop, so
Right.
hopefully we can keep that. It would be nice. The write-in for me, if you think, and this troublemaker is new, and this is why I've kind of self-named me. Beach from Hemptations. If you want to write me in for troublemaker, I think it was definitely making trouble last year with all the CBD stuff. Friend of the environment. That's everyday life for me. That's why I started selling hemp goods to begin with 24 years ago or so. Local activist. I think as much as I was a troublemaker is the same thing. I was a local activist last year on the CBD stuff. And I want to say that I think I'm gonna take my name out of the Cincinnatian category. Um, that being said, the reason is because I think that we should actually be for either Nathaniel Jones or Todd Portune. If you don't know either one of those, Nathaniel Jones passed away at the young age of 94. He was a circuit judge, private practice lawyer, but very much involved in civil rights. And so he was actually born in Youngstown, but he lived in Cincinnati for a long time. I know he's taught at the University of Cincinnati, but again, one of the most respected civil rights leaders in the country, honestly, right here in Cincinnati. I know he's got buildings named after him, streets named after him. If you don't know who Nathaniel Jones was and you're a Cincinnatian, you should go and learn a little bit about his history. On the Todd Portune, I personally knew. Todd and I shared a stage probably 3 years ago or so. And I knew a little bit about his career. I don't do politics, but I keep, especially locally or whatever, I try to know as much as I can. And I knew about his career. And what I really learned and what I think was great is he was pro cannabis. And if you don't know, Todd started out on city council here in Cincinnati, and then he was the commissioner for years, ran for governor. I think in the last run, he ran for the Democratic nomination, I believe, for governor, at the very least. But as much as I don't like most politicians because I question their real motives. I don't think you could ever question Todd's real motives, and that was really to make Cincinnati a better place. Honestly, I think that was really his goal. I think he would have made a great governor. Um, Unfortunately, this fall when he announced that he wasn't going to run again because of his health, I knew that things weren't good. I figured things weren't good if that was the case, because I know he loved working to make Cincinnati a better place, and so we lost a good one, honestly, with Todd Portune. When it comes to politics, local politics, for sure, he was in my opinion, one of the good ones. And so, again, we lost two great Cincinnatians. So I would say that if you know or have any inclination while you're out there voting, just go ahead and take my name out of Cincinnati and vote for one of those two, in memoriam of them passing this last weekend. Somber, a little somber, but going into the product spotlights. So let's bring it back up. We're going to bring it back up. Many respects to those, well wishes to their families. The first product that we have is new to us, but it is the Clear CBD cartridge. Again, it comes with different terpenes, flavoring, but it's basically, I believe, just 100% CBD, which we're seeing more of. We're seeing more CBD cartridges not having to be mixed with PG or PV or all the other things that we may or may not know are good or not good for, or bad for us, well, either way. But anyway, and so I think being able to offer the customer that more pure CBD is a value to them and everything else. It's less that gets you more, I think, in the long run. Excuse me. The next one is we got a new flavor. I don't know if it's a new flavor, a new style of the wild hemp CBD cigarettes. And these are pretty popular. I think that these are helping people quit smoking, giving them the same effect, but yet you're really just getting, that CBD effect. So I think that it's for whatever you may want to use CBD. And, there are the reason that smoking or vaping, and people say, why would you smoke it? I think that, the only reason I can really say is if you're smoking cigarettes, then you should switch to these, and then, hopefully quit smoking and get your CBD somewhere else if you need CBD too. But one of the reasons is, one of the myths of smoking cannabis is that you bring the cannabis into your lungs and you want to hold that smoke in there as long as you can to get more out of it. That's a complete myth. Here's the deal. Okay, the smoke is the carrier of the vape. Okay, it's the carrier of the vape, or the small particles. As soon as that goes into your lungs, those small particles, whatever it is, CBD, CBG, THC, whatever it is, goes into your system almost instantly. That's why vaping, putting CBD under the tongue, sublingual, and vaping are the two quickest ways. Because when you vape it, again, it goes directly into the lungs and then absorbs those chemicals, so to speak, that are small enough to work their way into the blood system and get that component that you want working. The smoke is just the carrier. The small amount of water vapor, or whatever the VP vapor, or whatever it is that you exhale when you vape something, that is just the carrier for the molecules that you want to go into the system. And so, I've never recommend smoking anything, because we are not meant to ingest smoke. but it's not the smoke that does what you think you're getting out of it. It's the molecules of the small substances. Maybe it's the nicotine if you're a tobacco smoker. That's how the nicotine gets in your system. It works its way in. It's not the smoke that caused that, and the nicotine is just there and small enough that it goes right into the blood system once it hits your lungs. Same as most of the molecules of cannabis, whether it's a terpene or, again, CBG, CBD, CBN, THC, any of those. So that's kind of how that works. So again, it is just another form. I would like to get as many people as I can to not smoke tobacco, and so if the CBD cigarettes can help people do that, and they feel more comfortable getting their CBD that way, then we're all for it. And so, a product rant. Wow, I don't do a whole lot of product rants, but that was a product rant. We're halfway through 4 from the store. The next one is the Natalie's Choice Hemp Peanut Butter and Red Raspberry. The reason I'm focused on these because we just got this in fresh. So if you want to make yourself a hemp PB&J, get yourself some hemp bread. We don't carry that yet. And then there's your hemp peanut butter and your hemp jam, and you can go to town with it. I personally snack on this stuff quite a bit because it is good and it is yum good for you. So come on in and get yourself some jam or some nut butter. The last product from the store, I've done the Yanali, and I hope I pronounced that right, but this is a new scent or mix for the soap from them, and we just got a fresh batch of the soap in. As you can see, handcrafted in Colombia, but this is the cedarwood with lemongrass essential oil, and so get yourself some fresh soap. You can get fresh peanut butter, you can get fresh soap. It's all about fresh. And the last one, some of you may know that I started a new challenge to myself at the beginning of the year, and that is to wear a different hemp shirt every day for as long as I can. For those of you that don't know, the reason I did this is because I am still, and I'm at the bottom of my hat pile, but I have worn a different hemp hat every day for a long time. I'm going to have to go and count now. I would have to say it's at least 5 months. I was trying to get myself to a half a year. And so we'll see if I make myself to 6 months and what I got to do that. But I'm pretty close either way. So anyway, the product from my door, product spotlight, 4 from the store, 1 from my door, is from my closet door. And this is a view of most of my hemp shirt selection.
Wow.
I count almost 200. I know there's a handful because I took this picture, I think 2 weeks into January, so a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. And so of course I'd already worn that amount of shirts, so they're in the laundry. But anyway, as you can see, I'm not making this up, and I will post a final picture of every hat that I wore for my hat challenge. But as I start, you can see what I'm working with here with my personal hemp closet of shirts, and that's just my shirts: long sleeve, short sleeve, button down, t-shirts. I think that's it. Maybe sweaters. And that's not even all my sweaters, of
that
course.
Hanger
It's
pole
not
is
all my
doing some
clothes.
major work.
It is. And for the record, most of the hangers are of a recycled material. So anyway, that is, my mom often said I should have been a girl. One was because of my shoe collection. Way back in the day, which I still continues. I'm sure that at one point or another I will pick a shoe challenge to myself where I will try to wear most or every pair of shoes I have and see how long I go and get with that. Anyway, um, once again, just showing how much hemp there is in the world.
Indeed.
So do not deny yourself the hemp of the world. I have a 24-year head start on you possibly, but that doesn't mean tomorrow if you need to buy a new shirt, go find a hemp shirt online or come into the stores and get yourself a hemp shirt and do that. So there you have it. That's the product spotlight. As I said, 4 from the store, 1 from my door, which takes us into what I know is for sure Joe's favorite spot. He just loves the intro, so I'm going to leave it up to him.
Continuing the clothing theme, I think Beach has really become the foremost known expert on hemp clothing in the world.
No, I know more. I know better. That's okay.
Now, they don't have their own video show, do they? They can't get on here and toot their own horn and
No.
show what they have. So do they
true.
really exist? I don't know. If they're not on the internet, are they really alive? It's debatable.
Well, there's a
best.
Black Mirror or whatever that show was called episode for you.
you
You
go.
don't exist if you are not on the internet.
But we clearly exist because you're looking at us. And clearly, Beach is wearing a beachwear outfit. And clearly, that's why you're here. To answer, or to hear the answer at least, to the most important question of the day. What are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. If you just woke up or you're just curious because it's Wednesday at high noon, and I do this every Wednesday at high noon, you say to yourself, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you will know. I am wearing blue. This is one of those days where Kentucky Wildcats basketball plays and we do a show. And so I am obligated to my heart to wear blue. This is again, I'm kind of getting to the bottom of my hat list. So I kind of stretched my blue with my hat. But that's an old head case hat. It just says Atlanta's got a basketball net on it. And so I still thought it was somewhat appropriate. Got the Young Maven Hemptations University shirt printed here at Planet Everywhere. My hemp hood lamb is probably my favorite hemp hood lamb jacket, especially this time of year because it's UK blue. My Just Naturel pants. Just Naturel hasn't been around for a while, but their clothing I just loved the way it was cut, the way it was designed, and really good, nice clothing back in the day when they did exist. I got my Boxer I Love Bad briefs up there, and of course in my pocket, can't forget my Green Springs Technology hemp pen that I carry with me every day as well. I don't know how many records I'm breaking with that, but I should have kept track. I've got my Hemp Traders Argyle socks on. Went a little fancy with the socks today. And then my Super Skates. Those are Super Skate hemp shoes. So if you did wake up this morning or you were just flat out wondering because it's Wednesday and it's around high noon, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. It's basically Go Big Blue Wednesday.
That's right.
And so we work our way into the news, and we've got some events in February to talk about, and the news is it's going to start out really bad, I suppose. Again, I knew we were kind of splitting good news with bad news this week, but the first couple pieces of news here, kind of crazy, if not really bad. But the Idaho seizure of CBD. The truck drivers were, I'm pretty sure, let off. I think what happened was, if I remember, the truck driver got a ticket, ended up getting a ticket for not having a clear bill of lading. And so and that's what you got to carry with you as to what you're shipping. And that's what they finally got the guy on. Which was, still trying to make him guilty of something when he should not have been guilty of anything. But apparently a judge in Idaho says that they don't have to give the product back because Idaho is actually or cannabis, all cannabis, supposedly, and maybe this is how other law, I don't know, all cannabis is considered illegal in the state of Idaho. And so that's what this judge ruled. And so they're keeping hundreds and I mean, it's huge amount, hundreds of pounds, I believe, of what was CBD flower. I can't imagine that it is in. I don't know if it would be any good anymore. Anyway, it's been in the back of this truck, probably an impound, um, for a long time. But anyway, um, the company will not be getting their CBD back, which is just ridiculous. A British tourist got 10 years for bringing a CBD product into Dubai. Um, do not go to Dubai. Do not take CBD products to Dubai.
Yeah.
They are, and I knew that again. This is the way they looked at it there too, as well. Same as Idaho, all cannabis. I don't care what form of cannabis you have, is 100% illegal in Dubai. They're they'll kill a local person for having drugs on them. A tourist, obviously, they'll just give them 10 years in prison
Yeah.
uh,
The old slap on the
for
wrist.
whatever drugs you may or may not have. Um, and this I knew, and so definitely sad for this particular individual. A learning lesson. Before you travel internationally with
Yeah.
anything,
You
find
gotta
out
know
where
where you're
you are.
going.
You better
Good
be.
Lord.
That's right. You got to know. You better look into where you're going. And again, I'm sure they weren't thinking twice about it. They have their CBD tincture or whatever. And they weren't even thinking twice about it because wherever they were from in the UK, it's no big deal. Just like here. But again, I suppose knowing what I know, as a warning to everyone out there, find out what the laws are in the country you're going to if you're going to travel international with any form of cannabis, regardless of what form that
With
may be.
anything. You're traveling with
Is really
bananas.
the lesson. Honestly, true. That exactly the
People
truth.
are
No
crazy
matter
laws.
what you think, other than clothes, if you're going to take anything else but clothes,
Yeah.
you better make sure. And to be honest with you, you better make sure those clothes are still legal. Because if you wear a hemp leaf shirt in France, they will tell you to take it off or turn it in. So the police will tell you to take it off or turn it off because that's a violation of their drug laws,
See, there's
even if it's a
crazy
hemp leaf
stuff everywhere.
everywhere. And so, um, you know, uh, once again, this is a learning lesson for everyone now that uses a CBD. Again, 100% legal here, 100% legal in a lot of places across the world, but also 100% not legal in a lot of places across the world. Um, and so, that's where that hemp oil label might come in a lot better than putting CBD on it. In all honesty, if you're going to travel with it, because hemp oil should be legal in most countries as far as the seed oil. And so, anyway, um, international travels, be warned. Be warned. There are parts of the world that are still not friendly. Um, and I believe I just saw that the Philippines just up that. They said
Peanut
CBD,
friendly.
CBD, yeah, and Dad, going to a jail in Dubai might be one thing, but going to Dubai or going to jail in the Philippines, whoo, you're right, man, that'd be a whole nother matter. Um, but anyway, I think I just read that they are being explicit about the fact that cannabis and CBD is not legal in their country. Um, the military here in the United States also just put out another warning for soldiers not to use CBD. Now, the problem with the warning is the warning is really saying that some CBD products contain small amounts of THC, and you can't have any THC, which is true. Obviously, regardless of whether you would fail a drug test or not, is not even the issue with the military. Just, that's their policy, I'm sure, zero THC. And so they're saying, unless your CBD product has zero THC, which again, you just go to the isolate, zero THC. Um, they should have been. Of course, they weren't clear. They're just saying all CBD is bad. Don't do it, regardless of how much your brain and your body may actually need it. Another part of it too is they probably got word that CBD is a calming agent in most people. And to be honest with you, the military doesn't want their personnel to be calm.
No.
I hate to say that, but that's more what we're probably against smoking cannabis in the military than anything, is because it made you calmer. It didn't make you want to kill. That's bad for the military. Um, I'm anti-war. I'm pro-soldier, just so you
Yes.
know. But anyway, and so, and again, there are branches of the military, I'm pretty sure, that still tell you not to eat hemp foods. And so, I'm surprised, and I didn't read the whole article, and they may have mentioned it in the article. I just saw the headline. They may have mentioned in the article that there are branches of the military that will wholeheartedly say you can't eat hemp food, even though there is 0% chance of you having any THC in you from hemp food. One guy proved in court somehow, I don't know how I did it, because scientifically I know for a fact that there's no way to get THC in the seed, from seed, the products from. So if the seed was cleaned or shaken, even if it was an industrial hemp, okay, that would be the only way to have, say, THC, is if it was on the outside of the seed and then something was made with it. And that would take a lot of it there. But scientifically speaking, there is no THC inside the seed. Even if you had a 35% THC seed from a plant that was 35% THC, there's no THC inside the seed. There might be something on the outside as dusting of something, so to speak. And again, you'd have to eat handfuls of seed that came from a high THC plant that just had a dusting of THC on them, a lot, to have enough THC to even fail a test. But anyway, some parts of the military, because this one, and I think it was actually a firefighter. I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know what it had to do with the military, but I think it was a firefighter or somebody proved in court that he failed a drug test because he ate too much hemp food. And all of a sudden, that was the standard for some branches of the military. And the guy's a genius. I almost want to go back and see what he did in court to convince a jury and the judge and the prosecutor of this. I feel like the prosecutor must not have done any scientific, studies or looked into it, and it all just kind of took this guy's word for it. Whatever it was, whatever his argument was good. I will say that. But it is what it is. And now again, the military is coming out warning their personnel that because some CBD products have THC, you shouldn't have CBD at all. Which again is not, it's not helping them at all. It's not helping them. It's not helping their personnel. I guarantee there's some upper level military personnel that take CBD to help with their anxiety.
Yeah.
And they don't care. Try to test them. Good news around the world. Speaking of countries that you can travel to, obviously, with your CBD, Scotland and Japan both just opened up their first CBD stores. Now, the UK, I know, is, I'm pretty sure, CBD friendly, Scotland being UK. And so Japan That's kind of interesting, but good for them. They are obviously okay with CBD. They're definitely okay with hemp. They love hemp. They may not have a whole lot of space to grow hemp, but they love growing hemp in Japan. And so I can see them. I can see why they would be pro CBD there as well. There, my understanding is there's a lot of stress in Japan, and so I'm sure it's doing wonders for the Japanese. Hopefully, trying to keep them calm
Yeah.
on that huge island. Uh, Edible arrangements is, of course, another big name that is getting in the CBD game. One of the reasons why is because they have a trademark on the word edible, or at least edible arrangements, or edible something. And so, um, it's going to be interesting to see how they play that. But they're going to start, and again, they're just going to be CBD in the chocolate on the strawberries or whatever. I see what they're going to do. Most more than likely, you get to pick your option of milligrams of CBD for your edible arrangement, and they will ship it to you. Or you can go pick it up. Because I think there's still an edible arrangements in Kenwood, possibly. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see. We'll see where that takes us. And again, it's just more proof that once 2020 is going to continue to be CBD enriched. CBD infused. The whole year is just going to be infused with CBD, and so good for 2020. Let's see. Let's talk about some events real quick. Nothing till the middle of February, I don't think. We've got OFA, February 13th and the 15th, up in Dayton, and that's the Ohio Ecological Farm Association. And again, the reason I bring that up is because they are doing a full day of hemp farming. So if you're in Ohio and you're interested in hemp farming and learning about that, that would be a good place to do that. That same weekend, out in Vegas, you've got the USA CBD Expo. The only reason I really bring this up is because Mike Lewis from Third Wave Farms is going to be a speaker there, and you want to go listen. If you're anywhere near Vegas, you want to go listen to him, or at the very least, he has been farmer from day one in Kentucky, 2014, first year growing, federally recognized, and so he knows as much. And again, he is an agriculturalist. He teaches agriculture. He is a farmer. And so highly, highly worth listening to, regardless. So if you're planning on going to Vegas for the CBD Expo, definitely find Mike whenever he's doing his thing. Mike Lewis, Third Wave Farms, and listen to what that man has to say. February 14th and 15th, you've got the Arkansas Farmers Industrial Hemp Conference in North Little Rock. Just to remind everyone, if you go to hemptations.com, have all the events there. The first page of events is events that are Hemptations related, so to speak. The second page are events that I mention on the High Noon Hemp Show with more detail if I have them, say city, address, any of that stuff. And so you can always go there and check out events. I have events listed all the way, I think, through June of this year as they pop up. And so don't forget about hemptations.com for more info on the events that I talk about here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Finishing out February 24th, 25th, you've got the Danville, Virginia Industrial Hemp Conference, February 24th and 25th. As well, you have the Central United States Hemp Grow Conference and Expo in Rochester, Maine, I think that is, I believe. I'm going to check that out, but yeah. So there you have it. That takes us through most of February for stuff. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't know if that clock is right or not, but I always think 1, 2, 3, 4 is an interesting time. 12:34, folks. Ding. This has been the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Beach. He is Joe. I truly appreciate you tuning in live, and I truly appreciate if you're watching on the Jedi Hemp channel on YouTube, or maybe listening to the podcast on iHeart. Either way, so thank you very much. As always, reduce, reuse. I messed it up again. I keep no, that's not right. I had it right. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations, don't question yourself.
There you go. See you all next week.
Peace.